Yes, people, welcome back to Let's Talk Premier League. We're here for the Arsenal show. I'm joined by Sulz and Scott. How are we doing, lads?
Good,
All
thank
good.
you.
Not too bad. It's been a bit of an up and down week for you lot, hasn't it? From what I can see anyway. Well, Arsenal, that is. Personal lives I don't know about. But for Arsenal, it's been a bit of an up and down week, hasn't it?
It's just a normal week.
But there was a criticism from Saul's a couple of shows ago that I didn't have anything positive. We do have two bits of positive news this week, but they're near the end because I don't want to make Saul's too happy for the stream. So what we'll do is, obviously, we didn't do a match reaction for Everton, so it's best we sort of have a little discussion, have a little chat about it. So Everton, Leno, I mean, if that was my goalkeeper, and mind you, my team is in League One, I would want him removed from his position and never play again. Scott, we'll start with you, mate. What the hell was he thinking?
Yeah, so just to be quite clear, I haven't watched the game because I was at the protests, and it takes me 2 hours. It took me 2 hours to get back from the stadium. So I was coming back on the train, and I saw it was 0-0, and then all of a sudden I saw Leno own goal. So before I saw it, I knew there was some sort of fuck up there. I'm like, how's a goalkeeper score an own goal? So I have seen the goal, and that is literally all I've seen of the game. And I just switched. I have to be honest. I switched my brain off. I had no interest to watch it. But yeah, my issue with Leno is I think I might be wrong here, but I'm sure I saw a stat about a month ago where they said that he's made more errors that have led to goals in his time that he's been in the Premier League than the other goalkeeper. But that's going to happen, and there is going to be a goalkeeper that happens to. But even when you take that off the table, the biggest issue I have with him, and I've said this on countless streams, he doesn't command his box. He's got this weird fetish for punching when he can catch the ball. There was a game, not the last game, it was on my last watch along, I think Sheffield United or someone like that. And there was a harmless ball that come in, and there was no one around. I think Chambers was about 8 foot away, and he still felt the need to punch this ball out. And I lost my shit on my stream. I'm watching, and I'm like, why is he punching that? It's completely unnecessary. But yeah, you mentioned about removing him. I don't think anybody can argue that Matt Ryan's had 2 opportunities. He hasn't made any mistakes, and I think it's, for me, Leno's level has dropped this season. Whether that's because it's if you don't feel like your position's under threat, it's a double-edged sword, because people will say when you're under no threat, as a goalkeeper, you can become complacent. But then there's also the flip side that when you've got 2 top goalkeepers at a club, then you get the argument. Some people say, well, the goalkeepers are making mistakes because they're under pressure about losing their spot. So it depends which side of the coin you fall on. But for me, going on that goal, what I saw of it, just careless, sloppy, and something that we're starting to we see more regularly with him, if I'm honest.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And Sauls, we've had this discussion before, obviously, about Leno. And you had that keeper. You had a keeper at Arsenal that wanted to command his box, that in the end of the season looked very bloody good. You actually looked like you were a Premier League team when he was in goal. I mean, in God's name, why the hell would you be picking? And this has to go down on Arteta, because he's the one who makes.
This is where I disagree with a lot of people. Leno wasn't actually bad before Emi Martinez came in. This is the problem. He's been bad this season, and I do want to correct people on that. And I do strongly believe in that.
I definitely saw him make a fair few mistakes before Emi.
No, but he wasn't this bad. This is what I'm trying to say. He wasn't this bad.
Of course, he wasn't this bad. But
no. But what I'm saying, the thing is, right, Emi Martinez is the curse Leno's got, because when Emi Martinez came in, we started to see the flaws and the sort of limitations that Leno had in terms of not being able to command the box. But in terms of saying that he was terrible or we sold the wrong keeper, I'm sorry, after 10 games, if I was the manager, I'm not giving you a starting role. I'm not promising you a starting role, because I don't think 10 games justifies that. Because Leno, let's be real, has saved us in the last 2 seasons, many, many games. So we can sit here and criticize him, but last 2 seasons, he has been arguably one of our top 3 players. So we can't sit here and keep saying this narrative because it's hindsight now. This season, yes, he has been terrible. He has been shocking to the point where even I'm saying maybe we drop him. But when people say he's been bad and we sold the wrong keeper, I'm sorry, we're only saying that because he's had this season. If he didn't have the season he's having and he had a regular season, we probably wouldn't even be talking.
Well, no, I'm saying this because
when he got injured, he had that bad injury against Brighton. And I didn't have a channel at the time, so I weren't around, but I did see social media and people were having meltdowns. He was our best player at that time. I remember at that time going, fucking hell, this is it. He's our only good player because everybody was out of form. Leno was the top player at the club, minus Aubameyang. When he got injured, we all went into complete meltdown. And then, just by pure chance, obviously, Martinez come in and just absolutely smashed it. And it was like, oh, bloody hell, we've got a decent goalkeeper on our hands. And it was weird to have at Arsenal Football Club 2 good goalkeepers. And in an ideal world, you want 2 good players in every position, 3 if you can. At Arsenal and the club we are and we've become, sadly, we can't have 2 good goalkeepers at a club. We are in a financial position, or, Martin, and you can understand Martin. I don't blame him for leaving. Because he's ambitious. He wanted to be number 1. But as I just said before, yes, Leno has made a lot of mistakes. And if you look at him on paper, there is a lot to go through. But I will back Sulz up in the sense of that he has saved us a lot. Is he a world-class goalkeeper?
No.
Not for me. I wouldn't say world-class. I think he's just down from that. But there's a lot of worse goalkeepers about there. It's just, unfortunately, he's having a terrible season, and it's the timing of it couldn't be any worse because the people that were very much against Martinez going, it's an easy bash. It's just easy to do it. That's how I feel.
I hear that, but for me, from my goalkeeper, I want someone commanding. In fact, especially with your defense.
But Niall, that's not the thing though. Our point is this: as a fan base, as Arsenal fan base, we didn't care whether Leno was in goal or not, whether he wasn't commanding the box or not, because he was that good. He was good, and this is the thing. And when people say when people are saying he made the mistake, I'm sorry, he didn't make a mistake. He did the right thing at the time. It's like Aubameyang, right? He had the opportunity to sell him. In hindsight, he should have sold him. But he didn't make a mistake by signing him on. Because if you look at his numbers, are you going to now say, oh, you should have sold Aubameyang? You're going to say it now. But if you had the season you had last season...
Well, no, if you think logically, someone of that age, to keep it that consistent...
No, but if they're still banging... Look at Benzema. He's banging. He's 33. So there's still a possibility they can still do it.
Yeah, but there is always a risk. And it's a huge risk. Look at Vardy, for example. Vardy has completely fallen off a cliff this year. This season is fallen.
But you're not going to say it's a mistake to extend their contract. You're still going to be like, all right, look,
no.
This season he's done good.
Very high
That's
risk.
the thing with Leno. Yeah, but even with Leno, that was the case. Leno was good. He was our number 1, and let's be real. Yeah, I don't care. No one could come out and tell me 100%. No. Yes, but there's weaknesses with every player.
Yeah,
every
but
player other than Messi has weaknesses.
These weaknesses, right, with Leno, with your defense, they're horrific.
But they weren't. This is what I'm trying to say. They weren't.
That's the thing. But they will get to you as you want to improve, and as the league gets harder.
Hindsight. No. With hindsight, yes, it's a mistake to let Emi Martinez go. But it wasn't. You can't say that.
It's not even Emi Martinez. It's just someone who can actually command their box. That's all you need.
No, I get that, but when people are saying it was a mistake to sell him,
but it is a mistake.
And we sold the wrong keeper. In hindsight,
no, but it is.
We didn't have an option. We had to let him go. The guy was ambitious. We had to let him go. It was not going to work.
No, but we can call it a mistake though, because we as Arsenal fans consistently grill the scouting team and all this and that for selling Gnabry. In hindsight, it was a good idea, a bad idea to sell him. But when at the time he was crap. Gnabry at the time was crap when he was playing for West Brom. Well, yes, he was.
No, he wasn't.
He was a great shot stopper.
All right, so you're telling me you wanted Leno gone last season? No. Give me evidence you wanted him gone.
What I did want was Martinez to stay and take over from that role. That's what I wanted, because let's just get this right, yeah. Leno's a great shot stopper.
I was greedy.
I wanted them both as well. I wanted to both, but I wanted Martinez as the starter. But my point is this. He's a great shot stopper, but his kicking has always been just atrocious since he was at Leverkusen. I was watching him at Leverkusen because I've been watching the Bundesliga for like the last 5 years. his kicking's always been poor. His decision making has always been poor. Even at Leverkusen, when they had a full German back line, he still didn't command his box. So anyone saying that it's a language difficulty is first off wrong, because he has perfect English. And second off, he just isn't commanding enough. And now, don't get me wrong, 10, 15 years ago, being a great shot stopper means you're one of the best in the world. Nowadays, it doesn't. Look at Manny Neuer. The guy controls his box, he can run out, he can kick the ball, he can do everything. That's why he's the best keeper in the world. Leno will never, ever, ever even be on near par.
No, I agree. We need a better keeper, but I don't think when people are saying it was a mistake, I don't think there was anyone in this fan base who can confidently sit there and say the last 2 seasons they wanted to sell Leno.
Yeah, but Sulz, I'm not in your fan base. I'm looking.
No, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking about our fan base.
But what I'm saying,
I wanted to replace it.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is someone who watches from outside, right? So I have no emotional.
So last 2 seasons, you would have said to an Arsenal fan, Leno needs to go.
What I would have said is there were limitations. What I would have said is there's limitations to his game. I think Emi Martinez is a better suit to what you need right now, because what you need right now is you haven't got an alpha in your back line. Like, there is absolutely no one who leads them. I mean, David Luiz to a degree does lead them, but there's not a leader back there. So Emi Martinez, someone who shouts, someone who's commanding, someone who
I wanted that as well. No, I'm not saying that I didn't want that to happen, but you can't tell me when it's a mistake, it's someone who's just terrible. Like for example, we keep running.
This is where you question the manager.
But the thing is, though, Leno hasn't been shit. That's
not the point, though. Again, this is where Arsenal fans, and I'm not saying you, Sulz, but this is where Arsenal fans begin to just go back to where we're not a good team anymore. We're accepting not shit players. For me, Leno isn't a shit goalkeeper.
No. All right, can I explain my point properly then? Can I explain?
He's never going to be good enough. He never is going to be good enough, and he never was good enough. And my point is this:
all right. Emi Martinez had a failed loan at Reading. Are we not going to talk about his failed loan move?
I genuinely 100% believe if Martinez was not in goal, we would not have won the FA Cup, because he was more pivotal to that for me than Aubameyang was. His failed loan at Reading, it wasn't actually a failure at loan. He was a good keeper. That Reading defence was so unbelievably poor, any goalkeeper would struggle in there. He's always been a good keeper. He was never given a chance.
Yeah, but we also had a bad backline that was disorganised. But he still did well. But this is my point. You're going to, obviously, in hindsight, everything seems well. But no one in the last 2 seasons can confidently, 100%, with empirical evidence, tell me they wanted to sell Leno.
For me, we're not going to agree on this.
If I can just come in for a second, I think we should move on. We've got lots of stuff we can talk about, and I think we've only got an hour. But for me, I think way I see it of Leno, on his day, he's quality. On his day, he's dog shit. And it's inconsistency, which is what is split this opinion, if I'm honest with you. It's the inconsistency. I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah. I think we need better. But what I'm trying to say is when people say it's a mistake to go, we did in hindsight get rid of the wrong keeper. I'm not in disagreement with that. But to say it's a mistake is a bit harsh, because for me, he wasn't shit. He wasn't even bad. He was a good keeper. But it was just when Emi Martinez came in, we started to find out the limitations and why they was so bad. But you're not, after 10 games, you're not really going to go and say, you know what, you've been our starting keeper for 2 years. Fuck off.
You can though. You can though, because look at Edison and Bravo. Edison played about 2-3 games for City, and instantly he was the number one. And I know that was
they bought him in to do that though.
No, that's true. But Pep said it. He wasn't meant to be the keeper when he was given the first choice keeper. He was that good.
He wanted Ter Stegen. He didn't even want Bravo.
Than Bravo, that he was always going to be. He took over earlier than he should have done. My point with Martinez simply is this, just to end it. For me personally, the whole Leno Martinez thing should have been ended the day that Leno injured himself, because that was completely his fault. The way you're jumping at Maupay like that, a guy that's massive, Maupay's built, he's going to body you. You've just jumped at him like you're a hyena, and he's just pushed you off the ball, and you've now hurt yourself. That for me alone was it for me with Leno, because you've injured yourself.
Oh,
he injured himself.
I'm sorry. That's
I think
he could have easily avoided that injury if he was not shooting.
For me,
have you played football? You're not going to be like, let me jump a certain way in the.
For me, there were limitations in Leno's game. For me, I would have, and I said this at the time, I would have been taking Martinez over Leno. I think it is fair that you can call it a mistake because there were limitations, to which Emi Martinez highlighted them sort of limitations. So you can say that, but I do want to move on because, as Scott said, we have got plenty to talk about, and I've got some nicer topics. So I thought I'd get that one out of the way, so we can have the little rant, and then we can move on to the positive. Arsenal are apparently going to do a clear out. Now I don't know if Arsenal have ever done this before. Have you ever had a clear out that's got you lots of money?
No.
Right, boys,
so you can't clear out. Nobody wants
You're in for a big one, apparently. So they're going to sell Lacazette, Willock, Guendouzi, Maitland-Niles, Torreira, and Bellerin. And they're saying that you're going to get around about 120 million for that lot, which is quite remarkable, I think. But Scott, we'll start with you. What do you make of selling all 6 of them?
First of all, it won't happen because it would just, the club don't work that way. The reason that's coming out again, it's the classic. We spend what we make, and the easiest way for us to spend some money is to sell. I think some of those names will go out the door. I don't believe they all will. Willock will be an interesting one because he's doing the business at Newcastle, and I think Arteta. Even if you're not bringing Willock in, he's at that level. He'd be a quality squad player, and that's it for me. Lacaz's going to be. I think Lacazette is going to make way. If I'm honest, I think the Balogun deal does suggest that he's going. I think there's going to be a lot of talk about that in the summer. I think we're going to have a bit of a split fan base on as whether that's the right deal or not. What other names? Torreira, if we can get a suitor, but by all accounts, I think is he asking to go back to Uruguay or somewhere like that? I think he's limiting
Juniors.
Is it Boca Juniors? Yeah. So I knew as soon as a player says they want to go to a specific club, that fucks you up because then suddenly you've got less, bargaining power. But I do see him going. But again, being Arsenal, no doubt we'll get the raw end of the deal on it. What other names did you give me there? Guendouzi? Guendouzi's not a dead cert, Yeah, Guendouzi's not a dead cert that he'll go. I mean, I know it seems obvious. It makes sense. Possible disciplinary issues. Arteta didn't rate him, etc., etc. But I wouldn't guarantee it because it's all well and good clearing out your squad and saying, "Oh, we're going to make 120 million." Let's just be.
Who are you getting in?
Yeah. Let's play devil's advocate for a second and say you got 120 million for the lot, right? Which I don't believe you would, but let's say you did. What are you going to do? Go and then spend it on 2 real quality players or potentially quality players, but then you're now 5 men down in your squad. Like you still need the numbers. Like you still need an A squad. So for me. I do think some of those will make way, but I don't believe all of them. But I'll let the other guys give their thoughts on it.
Yeah. Sulz, which 6 not which 6, which of them do you expect to go in the summer? So you've got Lacazette, Willock, Guendouzi, Maitland-Niles, Torreira, and Bellerin. I
think Bellerin's going to go because there's apparently rumours that Arteta told Bellerin to stay for a year. Obviously, it's been a season, so he's probably more than likely going. With the fact that he's barely featuring as well in nearer to the end of the season makes me believe that even more. Lacazette, I think maybe just because he's going to be the easier one to sell out of him and Aubameyang. So I think maybe Lacazette will go but Arteta has said he wants to keep Lacazette and he's going to be working on a contract negotiation with him. The thing is, I don't think we're going to get any 120 million is far-fetched for me because apparently Willock is going to go for 20 million. Apparently we're going to sell Nketiah for about 20 million. Lacazette might be 20, 30 million. I guess it will add up because they are probably in the region of 10 to 20 million pound plays. And I think the only one who's probably done well at his loan is Willock, and he's probably the only one who's going to demand a decent fee out of the lot. But Guendouzi probably go because it's his disciplinary. Arteta said as a player he doesn't mind him, but it's his disciplinary that he doesn't like, and he doesn't want a squad full of people with arrogance. The problem is his character. If he changes that, I think he'll get back in. But I don't know what Hertha Berlin are saying, because there's always mixed reports with them. Even if we did get 120 million, I don't trust this board to do the right thing, because the thing is, this squad needs like 5-6 top level players, and 120 million is nowhere near enough. And we're going to be back in a cycle of just, terrible window again. We've not had a good window in a very long time. We need the likes of Basuma coming in. We need a backup left back for like God knows how long. We need probably a commanding centre back. We need a partner for Partey. We need potentially a striker, depending on what he's actually going to do, whether he's going to start bringing Balogun and Martinelli as sole strikers. And
we need a goalkeeper. Matt Ryan's only on loan, and we can't go back to.
No, he's confirmed because he's a free transfer. He's going to be confirmed at the end of the season.
Yeah, but I'm just saying it's a deal that's got to be done, isn't it?
Oh no, that's basically a done deal.
Yeah, we need a goalkeeper to replace Leno as well.
I put my wooden spoon in there. I was like, I know he's going to bite to that. I knew it.
And I do agree we need to replace him. I just don't think. I think there's more important positions, in my opinion, we need to solve first.
Especially with Arsenal. I mean, you ain't going to go sort out you're not going to sort out every problem in your squad. If you do, I'm going to have a heart.
For me, the goalkeeper can come next season if they need to.
If you do sort out all your problems, I'll have a heart attack live on stream, because that'll be ungodly spending done
I'll
by
be
Arsenal.
like, yo, this ain't Arsenal. Am I going to be supporting Chelsea or something?
Sulz we walk into the Emirates asking to see them all face to face. But just make sure they're real. But Gooner, what about you? Would you want to see all of them leave, or is there any that you particularly want to keep?
Well, out of the 6, Lacazette can go. He's had one good season. Well, no, technically he's had 0 good seasons at Arsenal. I don't even think he's broken 20 goals. So, yeah, he can go. Willock, I don't rate him at all. I think he's done well at Newcastle because that's his level, so he can go as well. I'm keeping Guendouzi every day of the week. The attitude thing for me is whatever it is. At Hertha Berlin, he's not got that attitude problem anymore. The manager loves him. He plays every game, and he's so pivotal for their team. And I get they're a relegation side, whatever else, but he's 2021. He's already in the French under 21 team. He's a big part of that team as well. They've obviously got some great talent in that team as well. So for him to be able to get in there and be a massive part of it, I want him in the Arsenal team. But Bellerin, I think we already know my thoughts on Bellerin. He can leave straight away. But I'd add the likes of Nketiah and Nelson to that list as well, because Nelson has no part of the club anymore. Nketiah, the same thing. And Willian as well. He wants to go to America. LA Galaxy are interested. See you later, mate. You can leave. He can play.
Do you think anyone's going to pay Willian's wage? Do you think anyone's as stupid?
Apparently, they're willing to do it.
Yeah.
LA Galaxy have always been stupid enough to pay these ridiculous wages.
Mate, we need to get on top. We need to get on that. We need to get on that.
Well, yeah, but that's why they wanted the Super League, because in LA Galaxy you can't get relegated, can you? And you get lots of money from. I don't know if they do like a halftime show with like dancers or God knows what. It's America, so you never know. But Gooner, what about Torreira and Maitland-Niles? Are they added to your list as well?
I think Torreira's pretty much gone. I'd let him go. His reasoning for wanting to go to Boca Juniors for me is fair. He wants to go back after his mum died. He's got the family issues. So I'm not saying get rid of him for free. Obviously, get a decent fee for him. But, let Boca Juniors put their point forward and obviously let him go. And then Maitland-Niles, I think he's done anyway, personally. When he rejected the move to Southampton because he wanted to play in the midfield, I think the club were already finished with him. I think at that point, the club had just said, well, you don't want to listen to us, you can leave. So I think they've gone anyway.
A fair point.
We should have took the Wolves. Was it Wolves? 22 million they offered.
22 million, yeah. Same for Nketiah, man.
And then we reject it and then don't play him. It was ridiculous.
And then it's exactly for Nketiah. 25 million from West Ham for Nketiah. We reject it, and we'll be lucky to get 20 million now for him. So we keep.
Well, me and Sulz have watched Nketiah together on a couple of live streams, or was it all 3? I can't remember.
Yeah.
All I remember is that I wanted to cry.
I can't remember him play.
I can, because I wanted to cry, pull my hair out, and hit my head across.
No. Like as in, what did he do? I can't even remember one thing.
Nothing apart from. Well, not even that, mate. His ball control is something I've never seen in my life before. I.e., he has no ball control.
When everybody said, when Balogun was linked with moving away, I always said he was staying. I knew that he was going to stay. and everybody started comparing him to Nketiah and saying Nketiah has more goals than the under-23s. If you actually watch Nketiah, first off, his under-23 team was much better than what we've got now. Our under-23 team can't even beat the likes of Derby. So that team was much better. And Nketiah scored goals. He was a fox in the box. And that doesn't work at a Premier League level. Balogun can do everything. He's like a Harry. I see him as a Harry Kane. He can turn, hold the ball up. He can create. He can do everything. And he might not score as many goals, but in terms of helping the team overall, he does more than Nketiah does. So
I wouldn't say Balogun's like Harry Kane, because Balogun's ambitious.
Well, yeah, exactly. Balogun will probably win trophies. So, you know.
All I'll say on that is I reserve judgment until I've seen Balogun, because I haven't seen him an awful lot. I watch a bit of United. I do in terms of their youth teams, a bit of Liverpool. I haven't with Arsenal. To be fair, I should probably. You seem to have a good one.
No, you should watch a lot of Arsenal. I really recommend it, mate. It's really enjoyable watching Arsenal like 40, 50 times a year. You'll love it. Great football. You'll see lots of goals.
Yeah, make sure you get a season ticket as well, so you can spend.
Yeah, definitely get a season ticket as well. Yeah.
Oh no, I definitely won't be buying this. Have you seen the price of your season tickets? No, thank you.
Most expensive in Europe, mate. Most expensive in Europe.
Yeah, you'll be waiting like 15, 20 years anyway. So.
Exactly.
I don't even understand how there's a waiting list, to be honest with you. Out and Out Colours podcast saying all those race funds are going towards paying off the bank loan, not signing like normal with KSE. 20 million for Nketiah would be daylight robbery. Luke. Exactly. You'll be lucky to get 20 million. Like, genuinely.
You'll get the English premium, won't you? You get a little bit there.
Yeah, but he's not a shit. He doesn't even have a premium.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I've watched him play with his own age group in the under-21s, and never again. I hope he never plays.
I wish this channel existed, or my channel, or any of our channels existed back then, because I remember when Nketiah come on the scene and we were all jazzing him. We were like, he's the best thing since sliced bread. Yeah. Arsenal fans, we're like any other. So a youngster comes on the scene and we champion them and say they're going to be something, and you end up disappointed. You just have to give these youngsters time, and they're not always going to turn out. But I remember seeing him thinking he's going to be good.
I'm a bit more critical, you see. So because I haven't got that emotional attachment, I am quite critical of these youngsters. If I don't like what I'm seeing,
crap, get off.
Yeah, maybe not that far. I give them to at least they're 19. And if I haven't seen anything I like by the age of 19, off you go, mate. Off you go. I have the same energy of my team. I have the same energy of my team, and we're in League One, which is quite remarkable.
Yeah, my only issue with Nketiah is I like a greedy striker, but he's a dumb greedy striker. That's my problem. Like, when Balogun comes in, he holds up the play, but he knows when to shoot and when to make a pass or lay it off to another player. The thing with Nketiah is, no matter what, even though it's the most, like, even on FIFA you can't score these goals, he'll try and shoot. And I'm like, what are you doing? Just play the ball, pass the ball. Stop. His first thought is shoot, and that shouldn't be the case. You should be looking at what's the best option to getting a goal.
He doesn't get his head up. He doesn't get his head up. Whenever you see a footballer, if you see a professional footballer that has to look down when they kick the ball to pass it, they shouldn't be a professional. A professional footballer should not need to look down to kick a ball. And he does that a lot. He does do that a lot.
Reminds me of Willow.
Yeah, no. I do hear that. The next bit I want to talk about is obviously the title, which Valvestrand does put up here. Who the fuck is buying Arsenal? I'm the Arsenal owner. I think they wish you were the Arsenal owner. I mean, you probably you haven't got much money, I'm guessing, but anything's better than Kroenke. But this whole thing of Spotify owner buying Arsenal, what's everyone's thoughts? Scott, we'll start with you. Do you want this, or are you still reserved on if this is just media PR or just complete bullshit?
Okay, I'll try and be brief because I'm looking at the time and we all need to speak. So I've done a lot of streams over the weekend, as you can imagine, about this, and I'll hold my hands up. I've flipped and I've flopped and I've flipped, and now I'm flopping again. When it first came out, my immediate thoughts were PR, load of bollocks, ignore it, and the timing. I was at the protests and then I was on my way back and I heard about it, so I did a stream and said, "Nah, load of old bollocks, ignore that." And then obviously a bit more, traction came out about it, a bit more serious. Then we find out about they're trying to get the Invincibles on. Again, more PR. I think, and where I'm at with it at the moment, I think there is going to be a bid. If I'm honest, tonight the immediate rejection they were expecting, like naturally it was going to get rejected. Do I think it's going to happen? No, I don't subscribe to it. A lot of Arsenal fans have been saying, he's only worth this much by going on Google what his net worth is. I don't subscribe to that. It's not what you are worth, it's what you can borrow. You know, I've got a mortgage of 300 grand, but I'm not worth 300 grand, but the bank will lend it to me, right? So all clubs, it's always borrow. So I don't think it's impossible based on his net worth and what he has access to. But ultimately, he's gonna, if he's serious and it's gonna happen, he's gonna pay over the odds, because the Kroenkes have never sold any franchises. And now we're gonna see, are the Kroenkes businessmen, or are they about ego? Because no billionaire is gonna want to sell to someone poorer than them, because they'll look like defeat. So are they going to allow their ego to say, do you know what, I've got a club here, the Super League's off, at least for the moment, it's hemorrhaging money, the fans are in uproar, we're dropping down the league quicker than you can say anything, it would probably be not a bad time to cash out and move on and just write that off as a bad project. But knowing the Kroenkes, my gut feeling is no. I think they'll just dig in. If they got to wait another 5-10 years until situation changes, I think they will.
Yeah. Sulz, what do you think of Kroenke selling it to Spotify? Well, not Spotify, but it could be Spotify by the end of the week if all goes well.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, obviously what Daniel Ike has done is brilliant piece of what I call business strategy. What he's done, he's you know, the heartstrings of the fans, he's played into it really well. He's got on, let's be real, 3 of the most loved players that are still alive. You know, Henry, Bergkamp, and Vieira. People, we take them now. Do you know what I mean? In this Arsenal squad, forget about, like, you know, what they did for the Invincibles, and even if you look at Flamini is a very, and this is what people don't know, he is filthy rich. And if you can get him on board as well, and maybe go into like a 50-50 ownership partnership, and then have, you know, Henry, Bergkamp, Vieira having whatever role they were meant to play. Now, the thing is, this is going to be something that's not going to happen immediately. People are thinking this may happen by the summer. No, this is going to be at least 2-3 years in the making before we even see an ownership change. This is going to take a very, very long time. You're talking multi-billion-pound corporation that you're trying to take over. The loans, even I know Daniel Ike's net worth and everything is staggering, because what you've also got to look at, his Spotify voting rights are worth nearly 11 to 15 billion pounds, and some even reported even more than that. So he has got the backing, and he can take it as collateral against his companies. And so he has got the ability to take the loan out of 2-3 billion pounds or euros or dollars, whatever it may be, and be able to buy Arsenal and still have enough to invest back into it. The problem that we're going to have is whether the Kroenkes, like, you know, Scott said, whether they would want to sell, because everything. Look, they've always used the word intention not to sell, which doesn't mean they won't. It just means they're not looking to. But like I said, this is a long, long game. The pressure needs to stay on from the fan base. We can stop buying merchandise and all. It's not going to work. That's a 10-year process. After 10 years, that's when the Kroenkes will look to sell if merchandise, because that's a fixed contract with Adidas. And if we look at global fans, it's going to, even if we stop going to matches, there'll be another 1,000 people who will come from Europe if they have to come and watch Arsenal play. So it won't make a difference in terms of not buying merch and not buying tickets. That's my personal opinion on that. But what we need to do as a fan base is keep protesting, keep this sort of uproar, and hopefully, you know, they feel pressured, or they feel like that there is no other choice, and they're backed into a corner and take the offer Daniel Ike sets out for them.
Yeah, no, I hear that. What about you, Gooner? What do you make of selling to Daniel Ike or Spotify or whoever it is?
I think it's the best option. A lot of people are saying about Dangote. I think that's just a bunch of rubbish. I don't think he's actually going to put a bid in at all. I think most billionaires are smart. And I think what Dangote's tried to do is to get people talking about him and talking about his businesses in Africa to try and boost them. Yeah. Obviously, I think he is the richest man in Africa. So if he can boost the richest
companies as well,
if he can boost that more, you know, he gets more money. I don't think he'd be the best option for Arsenal anyway, because you know, for me, he's just another one of those Kroenkes where he's mega rich, but he's never shown an interest in the sport until now. and I don't want to risk that. Whereas EK is an Arsenal fan. There's some people questioning if he's an Arsenal fan or not. He is. Go back and check his old tweets. He's basically a football Twitter account. Like some of the stuff
he was
says
bantering
is
off
funny.
Mustafi, wasn't he?
Exactly. Like he's definitely an Arsenal fan, and anyone saying he isn't, you're not right. You know, you aren't. You're just trying to pick at stuff now. And for me, if you can get the likes of Henry involved, I don't think that's a matter of them investing in it in terms of money. It's more
board membership.
It's the PR stuff, obviously, so that they can help get the deal done in terms of getting the fans
the name,
on board.
Isn't it? It's the name of Thierry Henry, Dennis Bergkamp.
Exactly. But what I want is, I don't want them sat on the board. I want at least Henry sat in the coaching staff. I don't want him as the manager or anything like that.
Bergkamp has got to be a coach.
Exactly. We need some of them. I'd like him to try and bring Tony Adams into the coaching as well, because these defenders they're all shit. Let's be honest. All the defenders have been shit for years. If we can get Tony Adams in there and tell him how to be a defender,
we thought that was Steve Bold, though, didn't we? When Boldy got in, we thought, brilliant.
For me, he's a puppet. He's so similar to the likes of Ray Parler. He just does whatever the club wants just so he can keep his job. Whereas if EK takes over and he wants the help of these legends, he said it himself, Adams can come in, do what he needs to do. You know, Henry can do it, Bergkamp can do it, Vieira can do it, and we can be better as a club. I think as well, personally, and this isn't just because I'm Arteta out, I think this is just where I see it. If EK comes in, Arteta is gone immediately. Because there's already reports saying today that EK has contacted Allegri in terms of trying to get him as the manager. I don't think they're too believable. But obviously, he's an Arsenal fan. So if he probably doesn't like what Arteta is doing right now. Because he probably sees it in the way that a lot of Arsenal fans see it, in the sense that we aren't doing well. That's it. If he's the owner, he wants us to do well. He wants his business to succeed. And he might see it as, well, sack Arteta then. So I think Arteta's gone. I think the likes of Xhaka are gone. And I think a lot of fans will be upset with that. And they'll probably start screaming the owner out because they care more about Arteta than anything else. But
come on, mate. Don't be silly. You know? I don't think if I see anyone come in my chat or on my timeline after we get a new owner, and then they want new owner out because of Arteta, I can't believe. I know you're Arteta out, and that's fine. Like, is there anyone really that pro Arteta? Really?
100%. There will definitely be some.
Mate, you need to revise some of the people you see.
All I'm gonna say is if I ever see anyone that pro Arteta, I think I may not allow them on my channel, because
that's what I'm saying. Because how could you?
Though, haven't we? We've seen it with other clubs. It's like, I know, and this is an owner issue, but we saw it with Tuchel. The guy came in and immediately fans wanted him out, and it's going to happen with no matter what you do. Yeah. Whether it's a manager,
but that's just fans being very reactionary.
I think the issue for EK here is, if he does come in, he will get some fans saying, "Why do you sack Arteta? Why do you sack Arteta?"
But he'll just turn around and tell them to fuck off and mind their own business.
I think for him the best answer is, Arteta's process that you want to trust was Kroenke's process, so I'm making my own process.
Yeah, but that's, to be fair, I don't think he'll have a problem. I don't. I think new ownership is normal for a manager's job to be under risk in the new ownership, because that new ownership might not want the way that the manager's doing it under the previous ownership. But Luke, what about you? What do you think of selling it at Spotify? Also, now Spotify might lose a lot of money because apparently a lot of people don't want to fund your centre backs.
Yeah, I don't know. I think this seems like it's a lot. I don't know. I don't feel like it will happen anytime soon. I feel like it will take a few years until this takeover happens. But if it happens, it's been said already by a few people tonight. I don't want Thierry Henry, Vieira, but Bergkamp on the board. I think that'd be a terrible idea, to be honest. I don't think, especially
maybe one of them. Maybe one of them, but I'd want them as the coaching staff, because I don't feel like these guys on the board would be able to really run a successful football club. I think getting Bergkamp on the coaching staff would be good, and Henry obviously, but I feel like they'd all have different visions as well, which wouldn't help. So I mean, if it happens, listen, good, because we'll be freed from the shackles of Kroenke. But
I just feel like at the moment, especially with Kroenke's statement today saying they don't have any intention of selling, you know, these guys are stubborn, and I don't see them selling anytime soon unless a big offer comes in, which I feel like Daniel Ike will have to pay a lot to even like make the Kroenkes think about selling this club.
I think that there must have been some sort of, like, if I was buying a house, right, I'm not going to walk around and just knock on a random person's house and go, your house looks nice, can I buy it? I'm going to look online, I'm going to see what's for sale. Or someone might say, oh, do you know number 7? He might be selling his house. So let me go and have a look at it. I feel like there must have been some murmurings, some sort of intermediary somewhere that has put out there and said, look, the Kroenkes might be open to offers. It might only be 5-10%. And this is what this, because would a billionaire like this EK, okay, Spotify, yes, he's promoting his product, yes, it's good PR, but if he is a genuine Arsenal fan, would he want to essentially almost troll or pull on the heartstrings, I think, as Sulz said before, of all Arsenal fans, just knowing like, oh yeah, I'm going to go and put an offer in, but there is a million he's never going to accept, I'm just doing it for bants. There must have been something somewhere that he's gone, listen, keep it under your hat. They might be open to offers, but this is how we're going to play it, and this is how you're going to have to approach it.
Well, I think
holding on to.
The reason I think he's gone public with it is because if he goes privately to Kroenke tells him to fuck off. Do it publicly, pressure from the fans. Kroenke might actually be forced to come to a table and sit down.
Also, I think the what happened with the Super League is a factor as well because of everything that happened with that. You know, we had the Arsenal fans had Kroenke out trending on Twitter, like pretty much in an instant, and the protests. You know, I think he's seen that and he's thought, you know what, I can really use that to kind of help my push in a way for a bid to take over. I think he's seen that and he's taken it in like to his advantage.
Yeah, potentially. Velschwan saying, do you want me to eliminate the Kroenkes like how I eliminated John Henry? Don't worry, Arsenal fans. I made sure he's a regular Liverpool fan. He's absolutely brilliant. Don't worry, Arsenal fans. I made sure Arteta is staying with Steve Bruce as his right-hand man. I'm sure that'll bring delight to their ears. But what I want to talk about is obviously yesterday. Yesterday, Thierry Henry was inducted as one of the first, obviously alongside Alan Shearer, into the Premier League Hall of Fame. There could have been many. This could have gone to many players, but they picked Thierry Henry. Scott, what do you make of Henry being inducted?
Oh, listen, as an Arsenal fan, it's a no-brainer, isn't it? I mean, for me, growing up, him and Bergkamp. I can't split them. They're my heroes. You go in my garage, first thing you see as soon as you walk in, a signed Thierry Henry shirt of the Invincibles. It's my pride and joy. You know, he feels like part of the family. To me, he is the greatest player in the Premier League's ever seen. Pound for pound, you'll say Ronaldo, and I get that because, yes, Ronaldo is the better player. But for what Henry did for the English game and what he actually did within the Premier League, you know, 20 goals and over 20 goals and assists in a single season, yet to be, you know, replicated. I think Messi's done it last year, the only other person to do it. And amongst, you know, what separates him from Shearer is, if Henry had played as many games in the Premier League as Shearer, he would have been up there in the numbers. But the assists, and he used to be, Shearer's a quality player, absolutely quality player. But Shearer never picked the ball up on the halfway line, beat 5 men when you're 2-0 down to save an invincible season. He just didn't have that in his game. Henry was just a complete, you call him a forward, but he was just everything, absolutely everything. And I think the Premier League done it right by inducting them both the same, because I think had they gone, you know, there was a bit of talk a while back about who would be first. And, you know, Ryan Giggs is, if he didn't go around beating everybody up and doing the dirty on his family.
You can't even put Ryan Giggs in the top 10. Like, don't.
No, what I'm saying to you, but because he's got so many Premier League titles, he would be in the conversation.
No, he wouldn't. No, because if I'm doing that, I'm inducting teams into there. I'm inducting a player.
Yeah. No, let me finish. What I'm saying to you is that if you're talking about how do you qualify for it, they would look at how many have they won. Because are you going to say now that that Gerrard couldn't be in it because he didn't win one? I would say no. Gerrard needs to be in that Hall of Fame.
I'm saying he can be, because you Yeah, of course, there's an element of looking at what they've won, but you can't base it solely on that because some of the best players don't
I
win
agree.
stuff.
No, I agree. It can't be based on that. But what I'm saying is that Shearer...
There's an element of it, but I certainly would never base it on that. Never.
No.
But I do need to try and move this on.
Yeah, Shearer's got the most goals. He has to be in there as well. But they've made a mockery of the whole thing because the next person to go in is done on fan vote. So for me, that's the end of the Hall of Fame. You've got 2 guys in it. The rest of it's bollocks because I put my votes in today and it was for all Arsenal players. All the Man United are going to put the Man United players on. So now it's a bit of a mockery.
As long as they pick proper players who can go in it, I don't think it'll be too bad. But Sulz, what do you make of Henry going into Hall of Fame?
I just want that shirt, man. That shirt looks fire, bro. I'm not even gonna lie. But no. I mean, Henry and Shearer, they argue. I mean, you can argue amongst yourselves who you think is better. What they did for the Premier League was just sensational. I mean, Shearer winning a Premier League, was brilliant as well. Henry doing the Invincibles, like Scott said. They were both just unique players in their own rights for the Premier League. Henry being a more complete player, and then Shearer being probably arguably one of the best goal-scoring strikers the Premier League has seen. Even to this day, I don't think there's a lot of people who can sit there and say that there's more clinical strikers in the era of the Premier League than Shearer. So, well deserved, I think. It was the right thing to do them both because they are considered some of the best players at what they did in the Premier League. So, yeah, I mean, I'm just glad that Henry got it. I'm not going to lie, because for me, what a flipping player he was. Even when I watched him at Barcelona, watched him at Arsenal, goals, assists, just an all-round complete player, in my opinion, and you don't get many of them. So it's a good start.
I hear that. What about you, Gooner?
Well, I mean, I see so many people complaining. Like, I see Matt Goldbridge saying, why is there no Man United players in there? I'm just laughing at these people. Like, the 2 best players to ever play in the Premier League, it's Shearer and Thierry Henry. There's no how can you add anyone else other than those 2 first? I think a lot of it
depends on what you're looking for. Depends on what you're looking for.
A lot of it's just salt, really. I think, especially from Matt Goldbridge, because he's very anti-Arsenal.
But it depends on if you rate centre backs more than strikers or midfielders. It's a lot of personal preference.
I agree, but in the preference of the overall public, which is obviously what they're going for here in terms of the vote, and obviously what just the world, as in like the Ballon d'Or, etc., treats people as, it's strikers and goal scorers. Manuel Neuer probably should have a Ballon d'Or by now, but he'll never win one because he's a goalkeeper. So by that logic, it is Thierry Henry, Alan Shearer, and then for me, and I kind of agree with Scott, it ruins it that the fans get to vote because there's more Man United fans than there is Arsenal, Chelsea fans. So the likes of Scholes, the likes of Ferdinand will be in the next one.
Vidic is on there, which is a bit of a joke.
Exactly, and I mean they're now complaining, saying Ian Wright's on there and Teddy Sheringham isn't. Like, I don't care about Sheringham. Ian Wright's a better player than him. That's it. Like, we can have this debate for a year, but Ian Wright's better. And for me as well, the only issue is it's going to be very inclusive. They're going to try and get a player from every single team in there. The likes of Matt Letizia will probably get in.
Yeah, good shout.
The likes of some old rubbish Spurs players that no one's ever heard of will get in there.
Klinsmann will probably get in there.
Exactly, and for that's the only thing that ruins it is the fact that it's so inclusive. Like, at the end of the day, Matt Letizia was a great player, but was he a good, like, Hall of Fame Premier League player? Not really. He was just a Southampton legend.
I can comment because I didn't watch Matt Letizia play. I'm a bit too young for that. But Luke, what do you make of that? On me, obviously.
I was very happy to see it, but I wasn't surprised at all because he's obviously the greatest footballer to grace this league. I've said that since day one. The only other player I can think of that was in a shout to get in, the first inductees was Wayne Rooney, but he's not fully retired yet, so that's the only reason why I don't think you can give it to him. And to be honest, I agree with Scott. The fact that it's fan voted now, it just loses all credibility because it's just ridiculous now. Like, you can't really, fans will be able to forever influence the game, and I feel like in good ways, but in bad ways, because there's obviously fan bases that have greater numbers, and those will obviously vote for their players. It's not like you're going to see a United fan picking Steven Gerrard to go into the Hall of Fame. So to be honest, now that it's fan voted, I really won't take any of it seriously. But yeah, I mean, as the only 3 players I can really put in the Hall of Fame for like as of now, you know, would be Shearer, Omri, and Rooney, to be honest. But apart from that, you know, I don't really care about like what the others say. Like Ferdinand, yeah, fair enough, I guess. But you know, I'm seeing players that just shouldn't be there, and they'll inevitably get voted because of how much of an influence fans have.
Yeah. No, I do hear you, and we are going to be doing our own Hall of Fame. Don't know who I'm getting on for that. I want to make sure I pick the panel perfectly for that one, because as I'm sure, well, Sulz and Luke definitely know why I have to be careful with that panel, because Jesus Christ, this the regulars can be a bit iffy with their opinion, shall we say. But we have got to that.
On, please.
It's okay. That Luke, I said I had to be careful. I'm not going to name who I have to be careful about, but I do have to be careful to not turn it into a complete shit show. But we are going to do the quiz now. You guys weren't here, obviously. It was just Gooner last week, so he didn't get the new layout. Basically, you got a minute to look at the picture. You can give me an answer after a minute, but you've got a minute to look at the picture and tell me what it is. So are we all ready for it?
Yep.
Right. This is picture number 1. So I need obviously the score, competition, and year.
Was this 3-1? Oh no, I'm not going to say, not confirming it, but wasn't it 3-1?
No, wasn't this the game?
This was 17-18.
It was San Siro.
Yeah, we were 3-0 down in the first leg or something, weren't we?
Nah, I don't think we were. No, this was the season when we should have won the Europa League, but Aubameyang wasn't allowed to play.
I think it was 2-0.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Because we're in the away kit, so it must be the San Siro, and I think that was 2-0. Or was it 2-1?
I don't know why I had a feeling it was 3, unless it was aggregate score.
I think
it was 2-0. I think it was 2-0 because Ramsey.
I think the 3-1 was at the Emirates, so.
10 seconds to go.
I'm saying 2-0 personally away.
I'm going with Gooner.
It's the year though.
I'll agree with you two. Yeah, unless Scott's got a different answer.
No, I'm happy. With that.
It was 2018.
2018, yeah.
Because it would be late. It would be later in the season, so it'll be 2018.
What competition?
Europa League.
Yeah.
So picture number 2. Once I do this, right. Picture number 2 is this one.
Oh, that's an old one.
That's 0506. 0506 because I have the shirt.
I've got 6-1 in my head, but I think that's a different Middlesbrough game.
Oh, it's Middlesbrough. Okay, it's in the Prem.
Yeah, it looks like Middlesbrough.
It is Middlesbrough, yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I can't remember anything from this era. I was too young.
I remember it, but I'm just too old. Listen, I've got 6-1 in my head. We beat Middlesbrough 6-1 when Carnu scored a flick on, but that wasn't.
Didn't
Carnu
we beat him
era,
7-0 as well?
Did we? I think Henry got a hat trick in this game. Henry got 3 or maybe 4 in this game.
Yeah, that was the 7-0. That was the 7.
We'll go with 7. All right,
this one then.
If there was a 7-0, let's go with a 7-0. If there was
7-0, 2006.
Yeah, I'll go with that. Yeah.
Premier League, obviously.
Oh yeah, Premier League.
So,
but then again, we could be getting tricked because Niall did do us once where we thought it was the Premier League because of the badge, but
yeah.
I think it was.
I am officially a little bastard. That is true. Picture number 3 is this one.
4-0 FA Cup final in
2015.
Yeah.
Excellent. I do like. See, I am nice. I do chuck an easy one in there occasionally, and for a not so easy one, have fun.
Oh. I know this game. 5-1, San Siro, Henry hat trick, and this will be 2000. It was before I moved to Newcastle, so this will be. I think it's 2003.
And what competition?
Champions League group stage.
Yeah.
Oh, good times. Okay. Good times when we were in the Champions League.
You all agreeing with that one?
Yeah.
And your last picture is this one.
Oh, that's the 1-1 2018.
Oh, last game of the
League.
season against West Brom.
Wait, what?
Is that where we got top form? We knocked Spurs out.
No, this is Atletico Madrid.
It's Atletico Madrid.
Oh, is that Atletico? I thought it was West Brom.
1-1
1-1
2018 Europa League.
Yeah.
That's where Koscielny made an absolute
won that game.
Fuck up, didn't he?
Yeah.
Every single outfield player created a chance, and we scored one goal.
And then we lose 1-0 on the second leg.
Man said fucking West Brom.
I don't know where I got that from. That's where that's why I wear these guys.
when I was picking the pictures today, I didn't think I'd be seeing Atletico Madrid confused with West Bromwich Albion.
Well,
but
that's it, guys. It was great being on the channel. I won't be back.
Dylan saying West Brom, lol. So I'll quickly go through the answers. The first one you said was AC Milan. I gave you both Milans, didn't I? So it was AC Milan 2-0 Europa League 2018. That is correct. The second one was Arsenal Middlesbrough 7-0 Premier League 2006. The third one was Villa 4-0 FA Cup 2015. Third one was Inter Milan 3-1 Champions League 2003. And the last one was Atletico Madrid 1-1 Europa League 2018. So after the 9 points last week, you have got full points this week, which is buzzing. I mean, you mainly get full
Niall,
points.
Can I make a dispute? I think that is 5-1, not 3-1.
What are you on about?
When we beat
the one that I said was 5-1, you're saying is 3-1.
Oh no, 5-1. Yeah. I just can't read my own handwriting. To be,
I was going to say, I'm sure it was 5-1.
I've given you 15 points anyway, mate. So that's just me not being able to read my own handwriting. Which, if you ever saw my handwriting, you'd realise why I actually have to write in capitals. I can't write in normal handwriting. That would be a disaster. But we're going to wrap it up there.
I remember that game.
Yeah, we're going to wrap that there because I've got to jump off and do a match reaction for the Chelsea lot in Champions League. I'm not sure if you lot know what that is, but it's the European club competition. But before we do go, please leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel with notifications on. Go look at our Twitter at Let's Talk EPL and our new one, which Jeannie is in charge of, which is No Context LTPL, which is absolutely hilarious. Also go check out our Instagram, Let's Talk EPL _ and join our Discord and TikTok, and all of them have been on the ticker underneath, so go check them out as well. But Scott, where can they find you, bro?
The Red Cannon on Twitter and on YouTube. Simple.
Perfect. And what about you, Sulz?
Gooner Sulz on YouTube, and on Twitter it's at Let's Debate Footy.
Easy. And what about you, Gooner?
The Gooner Express on YouTube, and then at Gooner Express _ on Twitter.
Perfect. And what about you, Luke?
At Luke AFC on Twitter.
Easy. That was quick. The Arsenal boys, they've learned. All links are in the description, so there is no excuse for not checking everyone out. So please make sure you go do that. A big thanks to everyone who's been watching and who's come on. We'll be back in like literally about 2 minutes time with the Chelsea match reaction. Running a bit late on them, but they got a 1-1, so I'm sure they'll be fairly happy about that. Then tomorrow, me and Jeannie back with Let's Talk Tactics. That is going to be fun. We're also going to do a Europa League preview. Good evening versus Trust the Process, and Roma versus Arsenal. So I need to sort that one out tomorrow. 9 p.m. for that one. It's gonna be funny. That's all I can say. A big thanks to everyone watching. We'll see you in about 2 minutes. But until then, thanks for watching, and we'll see you.